It's been almost a decade since I've gone back to Sin City, and nothing's changed. This fucking town is full of the most disgusting, depraved, sick, twisted son of a bitches this side of Dixie. I was concerned that coming back here all these years later would put a bad taste in my mouth, but that wasn't the case. If you turn the right corner in Sin City, you can find just about anything. There are a whole mess of characters in Sin City, and most of them carry over to the sequel/prequel. Yes, it's both a sequel and a prequel, but we'll get onto that later. The big attraction in both films is the tough as nails, rough around all edges, badass Mickey Rourke as Marv. Bruce Willis is another big draw in these flicks, but he's a 2-minute extra in the sequel, just a poor man's marketing gimmick to slap on posters and other promotional material. It's a damn shame. I loved Willis in the first flick. I also really liked Clive Owen as Dwight, and it's unfortunate he didn't return for his prequel story. In his place is the equally cool Josh Brolin, but the facial reconstruction really is a letdown when we don't get the transition back to Clive at the end. Michael Clarke Duncan, R.I.P., and Devon's Miho were also recast. I know some of this is out of the director's hands, but when it's 10 years later and you're introducing characters to replace other characters and some actors have died, maybe some rewrites are in the cards. I mean, you have Miller right there. He's helping you direct, unfortunately. My favorite new addition to the second outing is my boy Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Every poker scene is fantastic, and I could have just watched a 2-hour story on him. Sin City is, of course, not without its curvaceous babes, and both these films have a handful of them. Rosario Dawson, Carla Gugino, Brittany Murphy, R.I.P., Jessica Alba, who takes her stripping to another level in the latest installment. Technically, she doesn't strip at all, but she knows how to work those assets. Then there's Eva Green, playing our Dame to Kill For. Sin City is certainly not a subtle series. Holy shit, that was a lot of S sounds. But there was a fine line in the first film that kept it somewhat classy in light of the source material. Shadows and smoke were cast just right to give us brief glimpses of our actresses. But Rodriguez and Miller apparently said, fuck it this time. Let's just show Eva Green naked in the majority of her scenes. Granted, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that some of the time it felt like I was watching a stylized softcore porn. Powers Booth, Nick Stahl, and Elijah Wood all have memorable characters as well. Elijah's just creepy as shit, sitting there with his lifeless face and his douchey glasses. God. Lastly, I want to say it was really nice to see Christopher Lloyd back on the screen, even if it was in a small capacity. Both of these Sin City films are based on the graphic novels by Frank Miller, with number 1 taking mainly scenes from 1, 3, and 4. This set works much better as characters and story arcs cross paths and it feels more connected. There's a lot of interesting material here, from the Goldie twist to the yellow bastard fetishes. A Dame to Kill For takes 4 different stories, and some of it just doesn't work at all. It's not cohesive like the first film. I found myself confused for a while when trying to determine where in the timeline this was. Now, it's not all bad, quite the contrary. Lucy's revenge story is really well done, and I love JGL's scenes. Like I said, the poker stuff, his daddy issues, everything worked really well there. Eva Green is a fun watch, but that story kind of fizzles out before it reaches full climax.
There's a Dame to Kill For.
Sin City has a very unique, slick, stylistic look to it. The film noir approach is a welcome departure from all the constant large-scale battles we've seen over the summer flicks. Much like the 300 Rise of an Empire, though, it seemed like the second trip to the city was a little less thrilling. There wasn't more than 1 or 2 shots where I sat back and really appreciated what I was seeing. In the first movie, I remember countless shots that looked like paintings coming to life, from Marv sitting in the shower of rain to a police car crash into a snowbank. The action is also a bit less graphic this time, with maybe 1 cringeworthy moment, as opposed to the 6 or 7 in the first. I did see it in 3D, so I had a little bit more immersion, but they could have done a lot more with that too. This is a very moody soundtrack. It's very subdued as well. We don't have a lot of poppy songs, nothing that really stands out. It all works though. It's all nice. It goes along with that film noir look. And there's some brass to go along with that ass. Little fun fact, there was multiple composers on these films to do each one of the different stories within the full movie. It's a clever idea, but none of the songs match those trailers that were released for both films. I freaking love Sin City trailers. I had very low expectations going into Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, and I left pretty good. I left all right. It wasn't a total mess. There wasn't early reviews released, and that's always a bad sign, but let's be honest, the first film didn't get a lot of praise. And it's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but it is entertaining, and so is the sequel. And Dame is 30 minutes shorter than its predecessor, which I think worked. An hour-and-a-half movie, in and out, get some plot, get some action, and you walk away. Bottom line, if you're a fan of the first movie, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the sequel. If you were on the fence before, I'd go check out the original and stick there. More than just reviews, this is Movie Feuds.